You're listening to the Focused and Fearless podcast. I'm your host, Heather Angel, and I've been helping people tune into what lights them up and increase their personal and professional performance for over a decade. Now I'm best known as a high-performance coach helping entrepreneurs like you cut through the noise and create a business and life on your terms. If you're ready to step out of struggle and discover how simple it can be to create a fulfilling, joyful, and successful business without all the overwhelm and long hours, you're in the right place.
Hey beautiful people, how are you? My gosh, so here in the UK we are now over 4 weeks in lockdown, and I said in the last episode that I might not kind of mention the whole pandemic situation again, but yesterday, I'm actually recording this the day I'm going to release it. It's the 20th of April. And honestly, I normally batch create podcasts, but I am going with the flow at the moment because I need to tune into what feels right to be sharing. And also I've asked my audience, what is it you want to hear from me? Because the usual schedule might not be what you need right now, productivity hacks and performance techniques and things like that. The world is a different place. So I'm actually sharing this with you because this is what I feel inspired to share, because I think it will be really useful. And I am going to be sharing today how to be successful and centered during this lockdown phase. And obviously you can take all of these suggestions through to when we come out of this crisis. But yesterday I had a complete switch off day. I wasn't on social media. I didn't listen to any news. I don't even speak to friends on a Sunday. I don't have any external input into my life, if you like. I try and go within as much as I can and just be centered and do what I feel like doing. Which, funnily enough, yesterday when I woke up at 6:30 on a Sunday, I still wake up early, the weekends make no difference. I cleared out my entire closet, cleared out the wardrobe, tidied it up, gave my room a good clean. I was like, oh, lovely, very productive morning. Because that's just what I felt like doing. If I felt like sitting and reading and having a cup of tea, then I would have done that. And that goes into really the whole premise of this episode, is that this is a beautiful opportunity to really start getting in tune with you. Start listening to your body. Start being really aware of your thoughts, how you are talking to yourself, the things you say to yourself, how you are showing up and thinking and behaving. And, I'm not taking anything away from this crisis. It's tragic. But there is an opportunity here. If you are an entrepreneur or a business owner who's always been like, go, 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 doing all the doing and just working your little socks off constantly, this is an opportunity to get quiet. And I'm not saying all the time. I'm still a doer. I still love working. And I'm still working, obviously, now. I'm still serving my clients, still running my membership. But it has definitely made me realize how much I often do for doing's sake. Now, what I mean by that is, and I think many of you may resonate with this, is that even like before this sort of lockdown happened and we basically couldn't do anything other than stay indoors, I would always have something work or personal development related going on. Even when I was, inverted commas, having time off, or I would just be cooking or washing up or just doing something in the house, I would always have on a training. I'd be listening to some business by design training, or I'd be listening to a podcast, or listening to a business audiobook or a personal development audio. I would be doing something to nurture my brain and learn something new and make the most of that time. I hate the idea of wasting time. And I've realised now that because of the situation we're in, I'm very, very conscious of looking after my mental health even more. I'm very conscious of looking after my children. I don't want them to be bombarded with information all the time. We don't really have them watching the news. We just let them know what's going on as much as they need to know. They're only 6 and 8, so they're very little. And I've realised that now I am either 100% in work mode or I'm 100% out of work mode. And honestly, it's been pretty transformational. So now when I am cooking, I'll have some music on. And me and my little boys, we have many a little kitchen rave. When the good music comes on, I'll be cooking and we'll be dancing around in the kitchen, which is really fun and it's beautiful. And I've realised that it's so easy for us as business owners to get caught up in feeling like we have to be on all the time, like we have to be learning all the time. And I did tell myself, I was like, well, this is good, this is, nurturing. And I'm not going to say that I will never, spend time cooking, not listening to an audiobook. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's really good to give our brains some time off. And actually just listening to music, I've never listened to the radio so much in my entire life. It's on all the time, just to have that company, I think, really, and something a little bit different, a little bit upbeat. It doesn't take very many brain cells to have the radio on in the background. And what I would just welcome you to explore is, how much were you doing that before everything happened and life changed and everything? We were kind of forced to slow down in many ways. How often were you doing things because you felt you should be doing things? You should be listening to a podcast. You should be filling this empty time. You couldn't possibly just sit and read a book, or just sit and spend time with your kids without having, your phone next to you so you can check emails or so you can check in on Facebook. How often are we doing this to ourselves? I'd be really curious to know, when you just sort of really reflect back on what you were like before this lockdown and what you're like now, if there have been any changes. Because there have been for me, and I thought I was pretty good at actually, this whole work-life blend of making the most of, the downtime. I've always been doing the meditation, journaling, all that kind of stuff. But I have realised that I had still very deep-rooted beliefs that to be successful, I needed to be doing more. I needed to know more. I needed to learn more all the time. And I love to learn. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually going to take my Reiki 1 qualification training during this lockdown. It's something I'm really interested in doing. Not that I'm going to do it for anyone, I just want to learn it. It's just going to be fun. So I love to learn, I love to expand my knowledge, and I'm sure you do too. But how often do we do it because we think we should? So that was the first piece that I wanted to share with you. It's very liberating to have, I have very set work hours now. And I wonder, has that changed for you? What are your work hours now? Are you able to work? Are you in a situation where you're needing to reinvent your business so that you can take it online? I know that's what all the new members in Focused and Fearless are doing now. They've come to me with, offline businesses, and they're like, whoops, I need to now look at other ways of doing this. So that's what they're doing in Focused and Fearless, is looking at how to take their business online and getting mentoring through me doing that. But because I've got children and we're homeschooling, I absolutely need to have very set work hours so my clients know when they can contact me and when I won't be available. And it's been really liberating. It's been amazing. So how about you? What are you putting in place to make sure that you're not constantly on the go, that you do still have, even though you're at home 24/7, do you have a work pattern? Are you allowing yourself time off? And what about the weekends? The weekend doesn't need to be Saturday and Sunday. Every day is the flipping same at the moment. So, do you want to take Tuesdays and Wednesdays off? Or, do you want to just take time off as you feel? Does your business allow you that flexibility? So all those things I want you to really reflect on, where you were maybe 6-7 weeks ago and where you are now and how you're approaching your work. And now I want to give you 7 things that I have been doing and really doing a lot more of, that have been helping me get really centered and have boosted my success. I am incredibly blessed and very, very lucky that, touch wood, I'm trying to find some wood in my office. So far my business has not been negatively affected. In fact, it's grown during this time because of the nature of what I do. I help people take their business online, and I mentor people that want to take their business online or grow their established business. So that's something that people are in need of at the moment. But these things that I have been doing have definitely helped me stay centered and not worry. I haven't had a moment of worry about the business, like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, is it gonna be okay? How am I gonna survive? It's just been like, okay, today's another day. Let's see what today brings. And that's not to say I haven't had my down days. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been very open about the days where I'm just like, it's too hard today. I'm not immune to this situation. We lost a very dear family friend to this horrible virus. So I'm certainly not immune. I have loved ones that I'm worried about, the same as you. I'm not worried, but I have loved ones that could be affected, and that's a concern for all of us. So it's not affecting me, but the following 7 things that I'm doing, I want to share with you because they have really helped me stay centered and keep my head in the game and just make sure that I don't let everything on the external affect the internal way that I'm thinking and showing up. So I'm going to list through the 7 because I know that some of you are just like, just give me the 7 and then I'll write them down and I'll be off. So I'm going to give you the 7, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about each one and how you can make it easy, because I know it's very easy to hear lists or think, oh, I should, or Heather said this, or this other person said I should be doing this, and blah 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 blah. None of these are shoulds, okay? Listen to the list, see what you feel, see which ones you like the idea of, run with those. If you don't like the other ideas, don't use them. Do whatever feels good for you. So for me, my 7 are Reiki, and I will let you know how you can get that during lockdown because obviously you can't go out and see a therapist or a Reiki master. But there's Reiki, yoga, breath work, gratitude/journaling, salt baths / the use of essential oils, being outside, and dancing. So those are the 7. So I'm going to start from the bottom up. So dancing is just a random one. I cannot dance in time to much things. I'm not a gifted mover, but kitchen raves are a regular thing most days in my house at the moment. And the power of moving, if you believe this, which I do, you have chakras in your body, you have energy centers in your body. So actually, if you're feeling a bit low, or you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, actually put on one of your favorite songs, get up and jump around and dance around like a loon, like no one's watching, because probably no one is because you're just sat at home on your own. But just dance around. The kids love it. If you've got kids at home, they just think, mummy's gone crazy for a moment. But just dance around, move your body, and it really, really boosts. It gets the endorphins going. It really just boosts the way you're feeling. So dancing is not anything complicated. It's literally put on a couple of minute track and jump around, dance around, and just be like, right, reset, re-energized, ready to go. The other one was outside. Now, I do appreciate there'll be some of you maybe that live in flats, live in apartments, and don't have your own outside space. And I can appreciate that must be incredibly challenging, especially, people in London. That is a situation for many, many people. So what I would suggest is when you are, during your allocated time, when you're allowed to go out and get some fresh air, do. And, this is the time to just really embrace going outside and being aware of what you are seeing, what you're hearing. I live in a pretty big town, but even here, it's really quiet. I can hear the birds. I can't hear a constant humming of the motorway because I live fairly close to the M4. I can't hear that. I can hear the birds, the sun, I can see the sun, the sky. There's hardly a cloud in the sky at the moment. It's just beautiful. So just listen and be aware when you are going outside. Stretch. I know we're not allowed to actually, be stationary anywhere outside. We must be on the move. That's sort of part of the government's rules. But, do take that time to get outside. Don't stay in your house the whole day. Even if you can just stand out on your balcony or in your garden, if you're lucky enough to have a garden, get out there. Maybe do some, breath work out there, or dance out there, put some music on, get your neighbours involved. But getting outside every single day, even if it's just for a walk around the block, is going to make such a difference. And then the other one was a salt bath and the use of essential oils. Now, I use like Epsom salts. I don't know exactly what they're called, or magnesium salts. You can put them in your bath and they just work magic. They just relieve so much tension in your body. I'm sure there's a gazillion other reasons to use them, and you can give them a Google. I use Westlab Epsom salts, but I'm sure there are other brands out there as well, but you can take a look. But it's really, really, they're great for your skin, but they're also just really relaxing. And having a long, deep bath, maybe once a week, is just so relaxing. I love to swim, and obviously can't do that at the moment. So that's about as good as it gets in terms of using, getting in the water is actually having a really nice bath. And also the use of essential oils. Essential oils can be very powerful. So if you can get hold of any at the moment, then lavender and ylang ylang are my favourite. And for during the day, if you need a little bit of, a pep in your step and you want to sort of like wake yourself up a bit, re-energize, then peppermint oil is a great one. That's a great one to have around. So salt baths, again, just nice and relaxing. Put on some nice music, it's just 20 minutes, just 20 minutes of having a bath and just relaxing. And if you don't have a bath, then, maybe make yourself a salt scrub and have a nice long shower. Just something to just take you away from the day. Allow your brain to just have some downtime and a little bit of pampering for yourself as well. And then what number are we on? 1, 2, 3. So the fourth one was journaling/gratitude. So journaling is probably a whole episode on its own, but the power of journaling is it's getting the thoughts out of your brain onto paper. And my gosh, I just find that so useful. And actually when I've had tough times, and maybe if you've done journaling as well, you'll have this experience. I have properly bawled my eyes out doing journaling because you're allowing yourself to just feel everything that's going on, and you're asking yourselves questions like, why am I feeling like this? Or what caused me to feel like this? Or, how am I feeling about this situation? And your brain's very clever. It will always come up with the answer because it's all buried away there in the subconscious. It's like all our little files are in there, and it's opening up those files and allowing the information to pour out, to allow you to not necessarily move past it. It depends what you're having to journal on, but it allows you to feel it and deal with it in the moment, rather than having it festering away. So journaling is really, really powerful. And within that, I use gratitude. Now, gratitude, I've almost got to the point where gratitude's almost become a bit cliche and almost like one of those terms that everyone uses, but it kind of falls on deaf ears a little bit, I think. But gratitude is really just being grateful for what you've got. And that doesn't have to be an actual practice. You don't have to, sit down with your journal and go, right, I must be grateful now for X, Y, and Z. Gratitude can be a practice that you use all day, every day. I would highly recommend, if you can just get used to when you're going out for your walk, just thinking, oh, how lucky we are, how blessed we are to actually be able to go for a walk around the park, or if you're lucky enough to have a garden. I've never been more grateful for my garden than now, to be able to just sit in the sun or, do your yoga outside. Just be grateful for the fact that you have that privilege. Be grateful for the fact that you have your health. I mean, gosh, right now, how many of us are actually realizing how lucky we are just to have our health? And these things can be throughout the day. If your children make you laugh, just have a moment of feeling that joy and think, oh, I'm so grateful for that. So appreciative of having this in my life. So it doesn't have to be this long, complicated process of getting your journal out and writing your gratitude list and all that stuff. That's great. And if you want to start with that, if you're new to all this, start with that. Get your journal out, which just has to be a notebook. It's nothing fancy pants. Just a notebook is fine. And you can just write out maybe 10 things every morning that you are truly grateful for. Or when you wake up in the morning, try and have, if you find in the morning that your mind goes straight to worry or doubt or stress. I know the economic stress on people is big right now. I'm not saying it's not. It's a real big issue for people right now. They're worrying where the money's going to come from. They're worrying about their business. So if that's where your mind goes to every morning, a great practice is to allow yourself to go, right, okay, just stop that. Let's actually think of all the good in my life, all the positives. The fact you're waking up in a safe, warm home is one of them, right? We're so lucky compared to so many people. So yeah, like I said, gratitude and journaling could be a whole episode on its own, but gratitude and journaling is really, really helping me right now to stay centered, and I strongly encourage you to give it a go. And then the other one is breath work. So there is a practice called Yoga Nidra, which I'm really lucky. We have, I brought in a coach to Focused and Fearless who is a Yoga Nidra and EFT specialist. So she helps all of my members with all those self-limiting beliefs. And we do Yoga Nidra every couple of weeks with EFT sessions as well. That's emotional freedom technique. So another one to give a Google if you want. And it really helps. But to make it really simple and for an easy takeaway for you, it is literally when you feel like you're getting that anxiety. I always feel it in my chest, and you're feeling that sort of tightness across your chest, or maybe you're starting to get a headache, however it shows up for you. Maybe it's in the pit of your stomach. You can feel that anxiety coming. All you need to do is just step away from the situation, even though it's just mentally step away from the situation, and take a long, deep breath in, and then slowly release it. And do that 2 or 3 times. Just get really present to your breath and just get some oxygen into your body. I know when I really struggle with anxiety, I know when it's coming, because I will be doing something very mundane, not even, not feeling anxious or anything like that, but I'll just be washing up or something like that. And all of a sudden I will go, and I'll take this massive inhale of breath, because my breathing has been so shallow, because I'm so worked up about something, maybe just been a very stressful day, or the kids are driving me crazy, that I haven't been breathing deeply enough to get in enough oxygen. And so my body will kind of go, okay, we need a big breath now. Big breath. And I'm like, oh, okay, yes, I've been breathing really shallow. So I don't know if that's ever happened to some of you, but whatever your points are, this is the great thing about this. This is the whole point of this episode, is to help you get aware what works for you. How can you be successful and centered right now? And awareness is that big thing. If you are aware of how you react to anxiety, you can start feeling it bubbling up. And it might be, like I said, for me, it's in my chest. I can feel like I'm getting constrained. My shoulders get really tight. Just taking that breath and getting present to the moment, and then just doing that for as long as you need. 2 or 3 breaths might be enough. Just be like, okay, back in the game, carry on with homeschooling or whatever's stressing you out right now, and just that breath is going to make such a difference. And then if you want to do anything deeper, I'm sure there are a gazillion videos on YouTube, meditations, breath work. You can just Google breath work or yoga nidra. For those of you that are in Focus to Finish, you have access to that anyway. But it's really powerful and very, very simple. So the last 2 was yoga and Reiki. Now, yoga, I am going to be totally honest, I have been really slack in using yoga, but I did a yoga practice last night, and my gosh, I felt so much better, and it wasn't long. Okay, my favorite yoga on YouTube is Yoga by Adriene. So give her a Google. She's great. There's loads of different practices on YouTube. I mean, God bless YouTube right now. That's literally where we're all getting everything from, isn't it? So on there, she does the most amazing yoga. And some of them are nice and short. They're literally like 5-10 minutes. Or there are longer, deeper practices up to an hour. So yoga just allows your body to move and flow, and it stretches out those muscles. I'm doing a lot more sitting down. I don't know about you, but I'm just sat down most of the day because I'm either teaching my kids or I'm working. I'm sat here recording this podcast, or I'm working, speaking to clients, or I'm just sat reading a book, or sat watching a bit of telly, or sat out in the sun. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of sitting. And I used to be a very active person. I used to go to the gym regularly, and now, I'm just not doing as much. So that was a real wake-up call for me yesterday when I did this yoga. I was like, wow, my body's been screaming for a little bit more movement. So allowing yourself to do yoga or any kind of stretching exercises is just going to be so beautiful for your body, just to release any tension. And obviously having, regular exercise as much as you can, because that was probably where I'd fallen down, is I'd gone into like just normal, doing my like boot camp exercises 2 or 3 times a week, but I hadn't really been stretching or doing any yoga. So my poor body was just a little bit tense and tight. So yoga is a beautiful addition to your day, or even if you can just do it a couple of times a week, or 5 minutes in the morning as part of your morning routine. It really is lovely just to give yourself that time and allow your body to have that movement. I'm just kind of wriggling in my seat like, oh yeah, to stretch. It's just so beautiful. So yoga is another one. And then the last one is Reiki. Now, Reiki may be a little bit far out there for some of you, which is why I've done the list in reverse and left this to the last. Because some of you I know will be like, Reiki, no, not my jam. Reiki is energy healing, and it's amazing. I cannot even probably put into words to do it justice on how powerful it is. So again, I'm not going to go like fully into the history or how Reiki works. You can give that a Google if you're interested. But Reiki is an energy healing, so it is a non-touch therapy. And the great thing is, I used to go to a Reiki practitioner every month without fail. Have been for about 9 months, I think now. And when this lockdown came in, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't have a massage on Reiki. I mean, first world problems, but I was genuinely like, oh man, that is literally my like life source. I absolutely love having a massage and Reiki. And the lady I go to is incredible. Actually, you can give her a look up on Instagram. Her name is Sam and she runs Zen Den UK. So give her a Google. She's fabulous. And the great thing is Reiki can actually be done from a distance. You don't need to be in the same room as your Reiki master or as your Reiki practitioner, which honestly I was really skeptical about. I didn't understand how that could be as effective, because there's a whole beautiful thing, isn't there? When you go for a treatment, you go in the treatment room, the oils are burning, it's lovely, it's warm, it's calm, and you have that real time to just completely switch off. And I thought, how is that going to be anywhere near as good if I'm just laid in my room and just pretending that she's there? I was like, how is that possibly going to work? But I thought I really need Reiki. I have Reiki to help my eyes primarily. That is the primary reason I went, because I have glaucoma and obviously can't see any doctors at the moment. And general Western medication isn't really keeping it under control. So I've been using Reiki to help me manage my glaucoma. And I'm not a medical professional. I'm not saying that's what you should be doing, yada, yada, don't sue me. I'm just saying that's what I do. And it's been working for me to help me keep my glaucoma under control. I'm not saying that is what you should do. Don't stop taking medicines, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I was doing. So I thought, right, I need to book one in because I could feel that my glaucoma was flaring up a bit. So I booked one in and I set my room up. You can have a look on Instagram. I posted on there today on the 20th of April. And she wasn't there. She wasn't in the room. There was no video connection or anything like that. But she just said, right, from 1 to 1:30, I'll be working on you. And I was like, okay, that's great. And I could feel when she started working on me, and I could tell when it had ended, which blew my mind. I really didn't know how I was going to know. I just set myself an alarm because I was like, well, I don't want to get up if she's like still working on me. And it was truly incredible. And I could feel, you know, Reiki's different to everyone, but I often feel heat when she's working on an area where, you know, she's doing quite a lot. I felt heat down my legs. I felt like there was I was clearing loads of things from the top of my body. It was truly incredible. And then I saw at the end of every Reiki session, she always says to me, imagine a white light going up from your feet, and she talks all the way through my body, cleansing and taking anything away with it that I don't need. And obviously I couldn't hear, you know, there was no video link. I couldn't hear anything. She wasn't saying anything to me. But at the end of the session, I saw this beautiful white light. And I was like, oh. And I could feel myself coming out of almost like a trance state. And I was like, oh, it's finished. That's it. It's done. And I still lay there for 10 minutes going, oh, just in case. But no, it was absolutely incredible. So I cannot recommend Reiki enough. If it sounds a bit out there and a bit crazy, I totally get it. That is what most people look at me like, are you quite sure? But honestly, if you can, well, you can work with Sam, like she does this virtually. It doesn't really matter where you are. It's an energetic connection because we are all connected. I mean, that's probably another podcast episode, but that's like to the extreme of the woo, if you like, because I think this lockdown and this whole situation has made us realize we are all connected, very much as a species on this planet. And that the whole life cycle of this planet is so connected, and we've kind of lost sight of that for a while. But hey, that's another podcast episode. But Reiki, give it a try. I'll put the link in the show notes to my Reiki practitioner. Her name's Sam. She's fabulous. And like I said, I was really skeptical about how the distance healing would work. I just didn't think I would get as much out of it, but it was exactly like I was there with her. It was absolutely phenomenal. So Reiki for me is something of an essential. It's not a luxury. It's an absolute essential to help me keep calm, keep centered, keep well. I really do believe it is helping me maintain my health, not just my glaucoma, but many, many other aspects of my health, my emotional health and well-being as well. So give Reiki a Google if you want to find out more, but also look up Sam. I'll put her details in the show notes. She runs Zenden, Zenden UK on Instagram. You can find her there. So those are my 7 top things that I'm doing right now to make sure that I maintain my success and I maintain a centered, calm state of being. And the reason, just to finish off here, the reason I entitled this podcast How to Be Successful and Centered During Lockdown is because I truly believe, I have seen it in my own experience, I see it with my clients, I see it everywhere with high-performing entrepreneurs. The self-care and looking after yourself and looking after the inner world is really important if you want to have success in the external. The internal well-being and how you're thinking, how you're showing up, how you are being is going to impact your success more than anything else. And I know that can be like a bitter pill to swallow, and it's almost a bit like, well, that doesn't make any sense. You've got to do stuff. Of course, you have to take action. But I can teach strategy to anyone. I have had people teach me different strategies. And I tell you the difference of following those steps of that strategy with belief and confidence and feeling calm and having the right energy around it, as opposed to following those steps, feeling stressed, feeling worried, being 100% attached to the outcome. Completely different experiences. My success in my business has come from when I've finally, and I'm a stubborn girl, but when I finally embraced the fact that the inner work was the work. Because I am now doing exactly the strategies that I follow now are very, very similar to the strategies that I've been following for the last 18 months, 2 years. But the more I do those 7 things that I've just explained to you, the more I focus on looking after myself. And I've just realized I haven't put in meditation in there, but you can absolutely put meditation in there as well. You can have that with the breath work, but the more you look after yourself and look after the inner world, the more success and abundance in all forms you are going to see on the outer world. So that's it from me, my darling. I will be posting this today. So this is the 20th of April, and I just hope you are staying well, you are staying safe. Challenging times for everyone, but certainly harder for some than others. So if I can be of any assistance, please reach out to me on Instagram. I'm on all the social platforms, but honestly, Instagram is my main one. I am so happy to have a chat in the DMs, honestly. If I can give you some help, if I can assist you in any way, just hit me up in the DMs on Instagram. Let's have a chat. And there are also, at time of recording, I had 2 people join over the weekend. So we have 3 spaces left in Focused and Fearless if you are looking at joining us. It's beautiful in there. We're attracting a really lovely crowd. So Focused and Fearless is my premium membership where people get access to one-to-one coaching with me. And at the moment, my diary is open to all of my members for as much as they need me, which is not going to last forever. To be honest, it's probably only going to last another couple of months. The offer I have on at the moment is unlimited private coaching, as much as they need to help them get through this very challenging time. Once we come out of lockdown, once the restrictions start to ease and business goes back to, I'm not even going to say normal because there's no such thing and it's not going to go back to how things were, but once things start to ease up and life and business can start running a little bit more smoothly again, then the price will be going back up and the amount of private coaching will go back to 1 hour a month rather than unlimited. So if Focused and Fearless is something you've been thinking about, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while and you're like, oh, I'm kind of curious, then the link will be in the show notes, but also over on Instagram in my bio. You can find out all about it there. And again, just if you've got any questions, just hit me up in those DMs and I will be very happy to talk to you. Right then, beautiful. It's been lovely. This was going to be a really quick episode, but lo and behold, 34 minutes. There we are. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I will be back in the podcast next Monday. Take care, gorgeous. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Focused and Fearless podcast. If you'd like to continue the conversation or have a question that you would like answered in an upcoming episode, head over to Instagram and connect with me at Heather Angel Coaching. If you enjoy this podcast, please share your thoughts in a review on iTunes. I truly value your feedback and I take the time to read every single review. Have a beautiful week and I'll see you in the next episode.